I welcome you to the session on building the collaborative project environment, the power of the key principles. Okay. The first one is work for noble vision. See, friends, in my experience, I always learned that we should be thankful for the opportunity that is provided to us. Before taking up a project, we should know, is it worth taking the project or not? What are the learnings for me? All those way of it, we have to analyze before taking up the project. But once we sign up as a program manager, project manager, or single point of contact, we should be thankful for the opportunity. The sponsor has given that opportunity. He has trusted us to take up that opportunity of being single point of contact. We always need to work for noble goals. See, friends, let me tell you, in delivering a project or a program, we, the single point of contact, or our team members, the technical members or the governance members, they may think that we are working hard. Nobody is understanding my problems. Okay. And, despite, burning my midnight oil, nobody is recognizing, or the person who has given the requirement is somebody. The person who has provided estimates is somebody. The person who has implemented the project is somebody. And the schedules are very tight. And how come this can happen? These kind of questions are very common on the ground. My friend, let me tell you, the world is not fair. Okay. To get an opportunity, to get a project, to get a program, it is not easy. Let me share a story. In 2002, there used to be one friend called Janish. Okay. I was working in a big size organization at Chennai. Now, he used to be my lunch mate, but obviously he was senior to me. And there was another person called Saravanan. And Saravanan, Janish, and myself, we used to walk for lunch. I'm so kindful to them. Both of them were very knowledgeable. They were more experienced than me, but somehow our wavelengths were matching. So even though we belong to different projects, we used to take lunch together and we used to have a walk. One day we came to know that Janesh got the prestigious award in the organization at Chennai. So I felt very happy. Our friend, my lunchmate, got the opportunity. He is the best. He got the best award. So I told Janesh, you got the best award. Very happy. Then Janesh told, yeah, I'm happy. But the difficulty of this, or difficulty of achieving this, is small. What? You got the best award at the center level? The center used to have around 20,000 employees at that location at that point in time. Then he told, look, Krishnamurthy, delivery is easy compared to sales. After completing my BTech, I could not get a job. I was cursing the God, I completed my BTech and I did not get the job. And then I had the necessity of earning money. So I was selling papad. Papad is the Hindi word. It is a rice item, eatable item. I had to sell papad, and I was building good quality, less price, but because I did not have the brand, nobody used to purchase my papad. You don't know, Krishnamurti, how many doors I have touched to sell this papad. Then I realized grabbing an opportunity is not easy. Clinching an opportunity is not easy. We have to go to door. We have to go with the music of stakeholders. We have to win the competition. Then only we can get an order. He was telling in the terms of selling his puppet to earn his livelihood for himself and for his family. Then he continued telling, saying, now I'm grateful to God because He made me understand how difficult it is, the sales is, how difficult it is to get a project for us. That is why whenever a project is given to me and I am the single point of contact, I understand the hardships of the sales department, the hardships of the sponsor to get this project to us. I need to stand to the expectation of the sponsor. See, friends, I'm telling you, being a single point of contact, you can be a program manager or a general manager or a director or a project manager or a scrum master. Being a single face of your team, you got the opportunity, and we should value the opportunity. We should make sure that the sponsors and stakeholders, they experience the best from the project, and you are given that opportunity of being a single point of contact. Now, once you understand the single point of contact, the value of it, the value of the opportunity, now friends, I'm telling you, building a collaborative environment within the project is very difficult. It requires matured people. It requires experienced people. I can tell that, there were times where people were telling it's only the technical experts who can make or break the game. Agreed. They are the best people. I understand. They are the core people. They are like bricks of a building. They are like pillars of the building. But the single point of contact, the governance aspect, right? We are like cement. We are not visible, but we are in between the bricks. And if we are good, then only the bricks will get, built on its own and they serve the purpose. Bricks on its own are strong. For example, cricket batsmen, they're on their own, they're strong. But unless there are a collaborative environment inside the teams, it is not possible to provide best results and to win the games. Today, in most of the organizations, because of diversified people, because of diversified interests, because of different origin people, different country people, different location people, it is becoming difficult to establish a collaborative environment. And if you are the person who can set up a collaborative environment within the team, you not only get the best of the people, but you will enhance the productivity from X to 3X. So the first thing as a leader is we need to understand the value of the opportunity at our hand. And then if you internalize it, if you digest it, then those value of it, the power of the opportunity, if you digest it, then it will get transmitted through you to your core team members. Okay. The first thing is understand the value of the opportunity. Try adding your best possible value. See, friends, I'm telling you, I happen to work with many people. Okay. There was a principal of a junior college. Okay. He is instrumental in terms of instilling discipline within the college. If he comes, all the students will start becoming straight. The spinal cord will become straight. Okay. and everybody will be start studying. He leaves the college around 8:30 in the night, and from then on, the students are not possible to manage. So that is the power of that particular principle. The moment he comes, everybody in the college, they become disciplined. So likewise, I asked that particular principle, sir, you are actually instilling discipline, because in terms of education, it's not just the teaching faculty, but the discipline is also important. And you are able to control the whole college. And what's the secret of it? And he says, I want to do justice to the money that I'm taking from the college. I'm repeating, I want to do justice to the money that I'm taking. That's the noble goal he has. Similarly, I happen to talk to people, right? And, they had a higher aim of, we wanted to grow this account to around, 100 people account, 200 people account. I want to make it. So they keep that in their mind and they start working everything around it. See, friends, I'm telling you, it is your sankalp, it is your vision. If that is pure, believe me, the path will be unfolded automatically. There were several projects, several complex projects. I happened to work along with the teams. It is the vision, it is the mission, it is the sankalp that actually drives around 60% of the success. So our vision, our goal should be noble. It should be people independent. It should be noble. The moment you start working for noble goals, okay, automatically you start seeing a great story being scripted, right? So the first thing to add to build a collaborative environment within projects is you need to have a noble goal and we need to work for it. So see, friends, I'm telling you, by preaching, I don't think we can establish anything. It is only by doing, by being an example of those particular principles, this is where we start transforming the power of a collaborative environment. Okay, so the first point is work for the noble goals. The second one I understand is principle based. See, friends, I'm telling you, it is the leaders around which the team gets augured, the team gets built, right? So we need to have principles. I've seen some people who make sure that they are on time. Believe me, they are on time. That's their principle. They are on time not because they want to impress their supervisors. They are on time not because they are having some meetings. No. If there is an office, they are on time. Believe me, my friends, people who are able to be on time to their work or to their commitments, they will succeed like anything in life. That's the first principle I see, that people are on time. And the moment the leader is on time, the rest of the people will start being on time automatically. There is no need. There is no need. I'll tell you, in one of the big engagement that I was working, okay, and there used to be a great leader who used to be 30 minutes early to his office, and he used to start taking coffee outside or in front of the front gate of the particular office. So everybody, we used to feel a little shy. Our general manager is already there. I am unable to come. Even though the office starts around, let's say, 9 o'clock, and this gentleman comes in by 8:30. And you know what? It sets certain rigor. When the leader is principle based, these things starts flowing in us. And believe me, my friends, the other principles that I've seen is being open-minded, being factful. For example, let's say I've seen certain people, when I go and escalate some problem, he really understands what I'm telling, and he also acknowledges, yes, we know there is a problem there. People are facing the problem. We understand. That statement itself, it used to make myself very happy, because most of my argument and data points I'm putting together and making a story to put in front of the management stating there is a problem. And my manager is accepting there's a problem. Yes, there's a problem. That's it. There is somebody who is able to listen. There is somebody who is able to shares the same feeling. Chemistry gets connected. Wavelengths get connected. So when there is a factual information, when the leaders, the supervisors acknowledges it, it connects our wavelength. Similarly, there are people who provides feedback to us, good feedback and bad feedback, and they have high credibility. So it's not easy to take a bad feedback, okay? Especially after crossing the age of 16, right? We have a ego. Because of that, nobody listens to nobody unless there is necessity, right? So when the manager provides a feedback, this is good. This is something that you need to improve upon. And when that person has high credibility, you really are thankful to that person. See, I'm telling you, at one point in time, or most of the time in my initial part of the career, I was aggressive, and I was trying to be vocal in terms of any bad thing that I see around me. Then one manager called me, Krishnamurthy, you need to learn the art of when to speak, where to speak, how much to speak. And that is what is actually biting you. And if you don't improve on it, I don't think people will be accepting to work with you. Believe me, I was the best performer at that time. All the years I was having the highest rating in the performance. It was not easy to take that particular feedback. And believe me, my friends, even today, I'm so grateful to that leader because he has provided such a feedback that has helped me to construct my remaining part of the career so long, right? So we not only want to listen good about us, but we are thankful to people who provide data points in terms of providing feedback to us. So the first is principle is being on time. Second thing is factful, not data oriented. It is just not sufficient that you are data oriented. You should be factful. Okay. And then third thing is, if somebody concludes, like a manager concludes, it is not that, by somebody telling, he probably try to see 3 points or 3 views. It's called triangulation, right? He basically, whenever something happens, he goes with the thought process of at least 3 to 5 data points I have to seek before I make an impression about about a particular situation. So whenever my manager or a leader comes and tells me he must have done greater work, and I know he works like that. So I really need to respect the feedback that is provided. So what I'm telling is I'm sharing my experiences wherein the leaders have inspired me, helped me to grow, right? Likewise, in a project, right? So we need to set up certain principles saying that everybody is respected and there is a safe environment of telling what is right. Okay. And the third thing is work should be respected. And fourth one is, we need to be very open in terms of even criticism also. Okay. So there are certain principles as a team or as a leader we need to have, right? And those principles are important. Believe me, if you look at Scrum, if you look at XP, if you look at Kanban, any methodology, they are built on principles first, then only the process next, right? So the principles are very important, my friends. Believe me, as you grow in the career, okay, it is your principles that gives you employability, that gives you relevance. So principles are very important. When we implement these principles through us, right, the environment around us, they will start appreciating it. There may be certain friction in the beginning, but over the period of time, those principles will get transformed easily. Let me tell you, my friends, trainings and coaching, mentoring, agreed. But It is the leader with whom we are working. He is the coach to us. He is the coach to us. Believe me, my friends, I happen to work with people who stand with me at the difficult times. Okay. So if I'm doing exceptionally good, they may not provide their time much to me. But if I'm at bad state, either because of, the kind of challenges that are posed by customer to us or by certain stakeholders, my leader stands for me. My leader stands for me, right? And I don't want to leave that leader, right? So today, it is not just money, my friends. It is the experience that matters. And believe me, to build a collaborative environment, it is those influential people who has to live upon the principles that they have set. Okay. And those principles, they need to internalize. My friends, let me tell you, one day we will go out of this world. Do you know how we will be remembered? It is not based on the money that we accumulate. It is the principles that we live upon. Three principles, if people can remember us, we are very successful people, right? So the principles that we do day in, day out are we. We as a human body will get submerged, transformed into those principles, and those principles will be remembered through us. We will be the conductor of those principles, whether it is life or a project, right? See, success may be there, failure may be there, but the people who are determined basis on principles, believe me, people want to work for them. Okay. Third principle is servant leadership. Friends, servant leadership, when you say, you can get phenomenal literature with different attributes. But I want to share my experiences with you. The first servant that I look upon in my life is my parents. Okay. So the parental touch, because they may know something, they may not know something, but the way they take our problem, the way they want the best out of us, they will do everything possible. In fact, they go beyond their limits to help their children. So parents and their affection, their support is the true example of servant leadership. Our parents may be educated. Our parents may not be educated in the area that we belong to, but still they may try to seek help from somebody, right? So that's the kind of the servant leadership. Okay, servant leadership is a, if you want to talk about the attributes, it's many, but at the core, it is the concept of wishing the best of your team, wishing the best of your team, understanding that your team members are your own team members, right? For example, somebody is staying late and you wanted to drop them at home. They will remember these soft touches. Let me tell you, one of the leaders that I've worked with, at the early part of the projects, he used to drop everybody at their houses and then he used to go to his house. Do you think people will not remember that person in life? They will. What is the need for him to drop? Of course, he doesn't drop all the people who are having cars and bikes, only the people who really need support because they were staying late. This is only when people are staying too late, he used to drop at their home and then used to go home. He is not doing that to impress somebody. It is his principle. It is his servant leadership. And, I see a bigger CEO coming and saying, okay, can I bring lunch for you? When people are actually working in production environment, a CEO comes and says, can I bring lunch for you? This is what it is. It is not to showcase somebody. It is the servant leadership. You want to serve the team for the period of time you get the leadership, right? Like your father, like your mother, like these people, they want the best of it. Let me tell you one example. I was working in US. I was working with one manager called Rob. Okay, his name is Robert. and people used to call him Rob. Okay. Now, because I was very young at that point in time, and I was coming in a weekend, I used to learn, Visual Basic .NET web development. Okay. So in US, Saturdays, Sundays, usually nobody used to be there. Nobody used to be there. And Rob used to come. He used to do something, and he was roaming. He was just roaming in the office to do something. The client size is less, actually. It's a startup kind of a company. And I was working from one Indian organization to that customer. Okay. So I asked Rob, what are you doing here? He said, I am making myself useful. I repeat, he said, I'm making myself useful. Believe me, you have to make yourself useful to the team in whatever way it is possible, so that team achieves the purpose for which they are working. So servant leadership is a mindset of making yourself useful. Sometimes you may be useful by doing a customer communication, by front ending the team, or sometimes you may not able to directly contribute, but you may indirectly contribute by staying at office. See, let me tell you, there was around 5 o'clock, the production deployment was planned. Okay, all the designated people, came here because it's a production deployment, release of the product. Now 4:30, the leader used to be there. Leader used to be the first person who used to enter the that particular big meeting room. We used to call that as a boardroom, and he's the last person. And believe me, he does it because for his satisfaction. You can make it out whether you are doing it to convince somebody or for yourself. You can get those vibes. Okay. So when you want to do it for yourself, that is where you start seeing such kind of examples on the floor. I've seen, friends, I'm telling you, I'm so fortunate that I've seen such people who actually lived upon those principles for their satisfaction. And over the period of time, it transformed other people and they transformed somebody else. So likewise, the third set of people is, the servant leadership is given in that particular program. And that is how the great teams are built. So friends, what are the three things we learned so far? We need to have a noble vision. What is the metric, whether it is a noble vision or not? That vision should not have people name. Like, I wanted to impress somebody. No, it should be like, to contribute for, for the, in the name of doing justice, the opportunity. Somebody has trusted me. I need to stand by. See, friends, I'm telling you today, whatever I'm telling, some people may think, hey, what he's telling. No, friends, up to 10 years, your technical capability or your process capability matters. Maybe if you are fortunate, 15 years. Beyond 15 years, it is your trustworthiness, it is your principles, it is your matured mindset, it is your ability to mix the team and connect the team. That is what gives relevance to the organization or market. That's why we need to have noble goals in mind. Okay, why the opportunity is given to me? Why not somebody? Always somebody will be there. Somebody has bestowed that confidence in me. I need to stand up. Okay, so that is the first thing. Second thing is principle based. Principle based means we need to have certain principles, right? So for example, in terms of, if you take a student, right? Let's say in our childhood days, we must have had a noble vision saying that my parents are really working hard. I need to do justice to the hardship that they're making and spending in me. I need to stand up to that trust, to that affection. So that has helped me grow. Likewise, when you come to the job, right? Some sponsor is investing in you. They are keeping confidence in you. I want to do justice to them. That nobleness gives you passion, my friends. It gives you passion and all, liking the work that you want to do. It won't come easily. It is your noble goal. You want to do everything possible to make sure that the confidence or the opportunity you are given you do justice work. That's number one. Second, principle based. Friends, I'm telling you, we may succeed or we may fail. That's okay, but we are principle based. Let me tell you, friends, it is not the great strength, physical strength people who are courageous. No, the people who are principle based, they are courageous. They are courageous. The principles, if you are principle based instead of person based, they actually, those principles will take you to higher heights. I can't tell, right? Second is principle based. Third thing is servant leadership. That means the mindset of being useful and relevant to the team in whatever way it is possible. So these are the three key elements that actually are not visible, but these are the invisible thing. Okay, it is invisible thing. Okay, but this works a lot. This is invisible parameters. Now let me tell you the visible parameters. Team agreements. See, friends, I'm telling you today, many people, especially there is generation gap now, right? Now, cultural gap, cultural differences, location differences, and people interests are different, right? You can't expect everybody to have servant leadership. You can't expect everybody to have noble vision. You can't expect everybody to be people principle based. These are these grow over period of time through the influential people. So this is like under the sea. Slowly, it is a under piece of an iceberg. So you can't expect these principles to spread across the team immediately or in the period of 6 months, 3 months. No, it works its own journey. But what is visible is team agreements. See, first point is all people should report to office by this time. See, friends, I'm telling you, nowadays it is becoming important that all of us should have certain shareable time. That means if you want something, people should be available for you. Okay. So the first working agreement is people should be available at office at this time. For example, why I'm telling is nowadays, somebody is telling I'm working from home. See, your role may be people centric, or you may not need other support, but others may need your support. So for you to be more relevant, you need to be at work. I'm telling you, there are people, because of certain genuine reasons, they are working from home, but they're suffering. If you are a lead and if your team members are working from office and you are working from home because of certain genuine reason, I can tell you that you can't contribute to the required level, because when the lead is working from home, how come the people can work from office effectively? If you go, some percentage of people, they'll be playing blah blah blah, all those things will be doing. So you are the CEO of the team, friends. I'm telling you, you have to CEO of the team. For that particular team, you are the CEO, and everything will transform from you. So what I'm telling is there should be working agreement saying people work this particular window at office. Point number one. Point number two, feedback will be provided every month. It is given. Like, it is not something that we are doing just because of somebody or just because of some behavior. No, feedback will be provided. From whom? How it will be provided? All those things you have to set it up, the working agreement. Third point, there should be some reviews for each work, and the review should be signed off. There should be definition of done. That means once people say it is done, that means this is a checklist. There should be certain definition of ready. That means if at all it is complained to definition of ready, then only you take it up. Okay. And so likewise, what is the escalation process? Okay. And all those things. Team agreements means to make sure that diversified culture people, they can work better. These team agreements should be formed, and it should be revisited in the sprint retrospective, and it should be modified to make it relevant. So working agreement should be there. And friends, please understand. In a car, even nut matters or bolt matters. Everybody is important, friends. There is nobody who is higher. There is nobody who is lesser. Everybody is important. They are there because of their importance to that particular project. So that is why you need to keep that vision. Every role is respected, and we need to have a working agreements so that, and those working agreements are visible and they can be modified over the period of time and repeatedly so that they stand relevant and from time to time. The next one is processes. That means, how do you take a scope from the customer? Okay. And then how do you estimate? Okay. And then how do you plan? Okay. How do you plan to achieve the scope? How do you plan your quality? How do you get resources? Okay. And if at all you are working with certain vendors, what is the process? And right, so your scope, schedule, costing, right, and risks. How do you ensure that you work on the risks? How do you procure resources within the department, within the company or outside the company? And then what is the process of getting it from vendors of resources or any other human resources, any other resources, right? So basically, for scope, schedule, cost, risk, resources, right, and procurement, you need to have processes, and those processes should be defined, and that should be walked through on the first day. Okay. And even how the reviews are going to be, how many levels of reviews are going to be when you say something is done, all those things we need to list it down. See, the young people nowadays, they are hating the process. They say, "Arey yaar, give me code, I can actually work. Okay, I can work." But these processes help. No, putting it on paper, making sure that you get agreement matters a lot. I can tell you one example. We were starting a new engagement, okay, with the first person. Now the person comes, and first 2 days sick leave. Then over a period of time, there was some family emergency. Now, how do you think the customer will get the best experience out of him? Through that person only, they perceive our organizational strengths. So before that, we have to tell him, friends, this is the importance of this role, and these team agreements are required. These agreements are required. Are you okay with this or not? So that you don't get any surprises. He also doesn't get any surprises. So we can move on. But you can tell me, no, it's not possible. What you're telling is ideal. It's not possible on the ground. Okay, fine. See, it may not be possible, but be cognizant that this will help. If we don't do it, you will actually get into problems. At least at that point in time, start doing it. But to make sure that you want a collaborative environment within your project or a program or an account, these processes are important. The final thing is the org structure. That means, who reports to whom and why. Okay. See, friends, I'm telling you, most of the conflicts within an organization comes because there is no clarity on who does what and who is authorized to do that, who is responsible to do that, and who is accountable for it. Right? Authorized is the person who is authorized to take decisions, who is authorized to invest something. Accountable is something that, that person is the one person who takes responsibility if something goes wrong or right. Responsible is the person who is supposed to perform his duties by consulting the experts or the direction provided, right? So there are two things. One is RACI matrix: responsible, accountable, consulted, and informed, right? That is very important. Or who is authorized, who is accountable, and who is responsible. There's two lenses, okay? you can actually view through anything. Okay, but that clarity is important. See, many times what happens is the senior management, they view us as responsible, but actually somebody else is responsible. There's a confusion for the team, so it happens. So there needs to be the organization structure, and every role in the organization structure should have the job responsibility defined, and that should be visible to all people. And we should know who is authorized to take decisions, who is accountable, who is a single point of contact. Accountable should always be one person, and who is responsible. These things may look as something over, but believe me, my friends, many projects crumple, they crash because of conflicts, and most of the conflicts are because of the absence of reporting structure or absence of the responsible, accountable, consulted, and informed part of the matrix for each role, or authorized, accountable, or responsible part, right? Your organization structure actually decides your outcome as well. Your structure decides your outcome as well. So, friends, let me tell you, in my experience, the 6 factors that can help in terms of establishing a collaborative team environment is, we need to have a noble goal and we should be working for it. Okay. The yardstick of working for a noble goal is you don't get tired. There is no selfishness, right? So you don't get tired. It's as you work, so much energy you get. Number one. Number two, principle based. Principle based. That means we need to work for principles. Friends, our life is limited. We get submerged in what we repeatedly do. And if that is principle based, there is for sure you not only find a better future for you, the people who are believing you standing on your shoulders, whose responsibility you are taking, your project members, they also land in best opportunity, best future, and they'll remember you, and they will take those principles to their future generations. That's the power of it. You are the conductor of new principles, good principles. Third thing is servant leadership. Servant leadership is a big chapter, but it's all about making yourself useful for team success in whatever way it is possible, as long as it comes within the legal and ethical perimeter or parameter, or the boundary line. Within that it has to come. Otherwise, we can't go beyond it. At the end of the day, we are just one entity operating as an employee there. So we have certain guidelines. We need to respect it. The fourth one is team agreements. We need to be very explicit in terms of what are the work timings. Is it 5-day work or is it blended work? And how the collaboration happens, and how conflict resolution will happen, how escalation will happen, all those things. Definition of done, definition of ready, processes, what will follow, all those things. The next one is processes itself. When you say whether you follow Scrum or Kanban or Scrumban, and at what time, what are the planning events that will happen, what are the retrospective events that will happen, how they percolate the feedback back to the bigger team, how the risks are handled, how often the risks are revisited, all those things. Okay. And then how your management will meet, how often a project meeting will happen, how often the executive meeting will happen, and how do we take that feedback, and feedback about the project, feedback about the individual members. So all those things we need to decide very clearly. We have to write it. And then the org structure, who reports to what, and what is the job responsibility of each role, and what is the authority, accountability, and the responsibility aspect of each role. We have to decide. So if you have these five principles, six principles, right? Then we can definitely establish the uh, collaborative environment, and people want to work for such environments, and they will not only enjoy, but they will also make sure that they'll take it forward. Okay, let me close this particular session with one story. Okay, there was a movie. Okay, it is I think it is Border. The movie name is Border in Hindi. So the soldiers, they were actually fighting in the border. Some around 10 to 15 soldiers in one camp used to be there. Now, one of the soldier, he got a personal emergency, and he wanted to take a leave. He wanted to ask for a leave. He knew that it is not the right situation, but he wanted to ask for the leave. And then he goes to the his captain and asks, "So look, I want a leave, and I want leave because of," he was telling. Then the captain says, "No, don't tell me because of. And you want leave, go. That's all." Then he says, "No, I want to tell why." No, he says, "No, no, it is not just you. Everybody is having some personal problems. All people, if they start looking at their personal problems, then it is not possible to work in this kind of situation. You wanted leave, go." Then everybody was surprised. Array, this captain is very tough person. How come he has awarded that leave? He's very fortunate. So this person packed up, and he was moving, towards taking the bus. It happened to be a desert, so he was walking on the sand. He comes to certain direction, certain length, and he comes back. Then everybody was surprised. Why? Why are you coming back? You are granted leave. He says, "No, I want to work for the story that I worked for the for my country. And this is an opportunity. I need to stand by my country. I don't want to lose that experience of the story of standing for my country. So I want to be part of that story. I want to be part of this great story. I want to be with my teammates, and I want to know how it can be solved. So I want to be part of that great story." That's how he says, and he continues. So likewise, my friends, we may have financial targets, we may have health targets, but we also want to be part of a great story. And that great story is scripted with noble titles. That's why building a collaborative environment starts with working for a noble vision. I thank your interest to learn, and I will be adding more value add sessions in future. Thank you, and thanks for your participation.